Hello, everyone. Today I want to talk about something that annoys me a lot about some indie developers, and specifically with some multiplayer titles and other games that are more so services than, products. And this thing that annoys me is the overuse of the term early access. Now, the one that I'm talking about here today is specifically Star Citizen. Now, Star Citizen has apparently been on alpha for 13 years and has raised $800 million. Now, the reason that number sounds big is because it is. Most AAA titles don't make that much money. And while Star Citizen isn't a bad game by any stretch of the imagination, in fact, a lot of people enjoy it. If they didn't, they wouldn't have made that much money. I do think that it is ridiculous that only now, in 2025, is the Cloud Imperium CEO Chris Roberts coming out and saying, "We are closer than ever to realizing a dream many have said is impossible." And this is, of course, implying that they're going to full release the game. Version 1.1, 1.0, sorry. Amazing! Awesome! We're so excited. How many times has he said this before? Now, I'll be honest, I haven't been keeping up with Star Citizen all that much. I just know that I took one look at the game and it gave me bad vibes. And the more I hear about it, the more accurate I think that that is, because as fun as the game can be, when a game hides behind the early access flag for 13 years, what what are we doing, right? This game has raised $800 million since 2012. It's ridiculous. You're This game is not early access anymore if it's been out for 12 years. Began as purely a crowd-funded project, though for years now, SIG has funded the game through microtransactions, paid access to the alpha, subscriptions, merch, and prohibitively expensive spaceships. For those of you who aren't getting it yet, being in alpha allows them to charge you more, allows them to actually say, "Hey guys, help support our game." They've made the money. They want more. If it was Ubisoft, if it was EA, if it was Activision Blizzard doing any of these things, people would be on their ass. But instead, because it's an indie studio, it's okay, and nobody talks about this. Nobody has a problem with this. Protests from Start attracted both starry-eyed believers and die-hard cynics. Of course it's attracted cynics. Everybody should be a cynic with regards to this game. They want to make a space MMO. They don't need this much money to launch the game, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about launching the game. We are not talking about just maintaining it. We are talking about launching the game, which they still have not done, even though I guarantee this game plays a lot better than any other alpha does. This is a full game that you have here. They're just calling it an alpha, even though it's not, right? You could call it early access, sure. This isn't an alpha. You want to know what an alpha is? An alpha is something that is barely working. You've got a part of it that is working, and you want to show that off to people. That's it. You're showing it off. And then you're like running tests in the background, and then you put that alpha down, and then you put out a beta. And then people try out that beta, and they like it, and that's more in tune with the actual direction. Right now, this is an early access that is no longer an early access, right? Because Star Citizen came out that long ago. I thought it would have been 2012, but yeah, 2017 was when it actually launched. Because this is ridiculous. You guys are getting robbed. You guys are paying for a game that is no longer in alpha. You are paying for alpha. You are paying extra money. This game's never going to come out of early access. The only way that this game comes out of early access is if a lot of people start getting mad at them for it. Right? Those words, what's this? Roberts has previously claimed that server meshing was the last big technological hurdle, and once it was in place, the team was setting sail for Star Citizen's own finish line. This means that the game is welcoming to new players. In other words, it is no longer alpha or early access. Right. Those words are from March 2024. Almost a year on, Star Citizen remains in alpha and early access. Right? Nor will it take 10 or 20 years. It has taken 10 years. Right? He says, it won't take 10 years, but this was 5 years ago. The game came out in 2017. So now what we have here is a bullshit artist. That's what this is, right? As good as the game might be, you're being bullshitted. He is saying, oh, the game's going to be even better later, so that you stay and keep paying microtransactions, so that you keep doing this. There is a level of dishonesty here. And again, I'm not talking about the quality of the game. The game can be fun. You can have fun playing the game. That's fine. But it becomes a problem when the CEO is dishonest about it. And that's my major thing here. So, right, they opened up the crowdfunding or they made their first crowdfunding goal in 2012. Since then, they have made $800 million more dollars. That's more than 99% of major games out there. 99% of major games out there do not make that much money. In 2017, the game launched, or released to the public, in exchange for a paid subscription so that you could play the alpha, or you just pay for the alpha and then you have the subscription, and then you have microtransactions, you have all this stuff, and it incentivizes you to support the company, the small indie studio, in order to help them realize the alpha. Except it's not an alpha. It's not even a beta. Hell, it's not even early access. That is the game. That's the game. You've been playing the full release of the game for 8 years now. And now they continue to make these promises. They continue to say, "Oh, it's going to be even better later. It's going to get awesome. It's going to do this. It's going to be that. It's going to be it doesn't matter, right?" But they're lying. And I don't necessarily mean that they're lying about the features. I mean that they are lying to you about this being an early access release. It's not anymore, right? Early access is a couple months. Sometimes it's a year. More than that, that's the game the game released, right? Like, we could talk about Baldur's Gate 3 early access, right? Which was one very long early access. However, Baldur's Gate 3 was in early access from September 2020. And you got the first part. And then the game can come out in 2023. You know something about Baldur's Gate 3, though? The early access build? They launched the early access build because they needed the funding. You know what happened with Baldur's Gate 3, though? No microtransactions. No subscription service meant to prey on people trying to help them. No cosmetics. Nothing. You had the game. That was it. And they sold so many that a game that was supposed to go up to level 5 and have 2 acts was able to go to level 12 and have 3 acts. right? They were able to extend the game. They were able to make more things, put more things into the game, get a little bit more ambitious because of that. They came out multiple times and said, hey guys, this isn't the full release of the game. Please do not buy this except if you want to help us develop the game. And in fact, they developed the game. And I was present for this, right? And this was 3 years. This was an extremely long time for an early access game. 3 years, huge. They didn't call it an alpha. They didn't call it a beta. No, they called it early access. Because the game was released, right? The game was out. It's early access. We're still fixing stuff, we're still adding more stuff in, but it's early access. It's not alpha. That word has a meaning. Beta test has a meaning. Alphas are short, betas are short. Early access is, boom, the game's out. You can buy it, it's not finished yet, but there it is. And that's what that means. And that's my problem with Star Citizen. They're not calling it early access. They're saying that the game is unfinished. They're saying that the game is being tested. And the problem with that is that they're using it to trick you. And I think that that's unacceptable. And I know that I'm probably going to get a bunch of hate from Star Citizen's fanboys, but I do hope that at least some people who are involved in that, who are playing that a lot, will actually take a look and go, huh, maybe they are being dishonest. Maybe I should hold off on giving them more money. Maybe I should hold off on supporting these people when they've already gotten more than enough money. Right? So that's all I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to get you to think about this a little bit. Alright? Leave your comments, say all the stuff you want to say about me, but at the end of the day, I'm not the one grifting you. Okay? So, I'll see you guys next time. Tune in tomorrow. Have a good one. Cheers.